Hey, thanks for tuning in. In this video we're going to talk about how capitalization in translations can affect our interpretation. Now, I'm going to be referring specifically to talking about the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament as people call it, the Tanakh. Now, when we're looking at it, oftentimes these traditional translations have words capitalized that they presume are either referring to God or referring to a presumed messianic figure. So when we're looking at talking about God and it says he, for example, or him, and they presume it's referring to God, so therefore they capitalize the H even if it's in the middle of the sentence, for example. Now, one thing to recognize here is that this does not go on in Hebrew. In Hebrew, there is not this distinction. In Hebrew, it's just a single case for all the letters. There's not an uppercase and a lowercase. So any capitalization of any sort is based upon an individual's interpretation and is based upon an opinion. So the capitalization does not exist in the Hebrew like this. So whenever we see when it says he and it's capitalized, that is assumption. Now in a lot of cases it's going to be obvious, in a lot of cases that it's going to have that context with it and we're going to know, oh, it's probably talking about God, and so therefore it's capitalized. However, there are a few issues where there might be some controversy that results. So an example that I've seen before, people talking about and Abraham believed God and he counted to him as righteousness in Genesis. This is kind of interesting because, of course, the traditional view is that he is talking about God, but some people argue it means something different, that it means it's talking about Abraham, crediting God as being a God of his word type of thing. And I'm not saying that either one is my opinion on the subject, but it illustrates the point that capitalization can affect our thinking on it. And just knowing that this capitalization doesn't exist in the Hebrew isn't really enough, that it still predisposes us to thinking about that. We're still primed to think that that's talking about God, whether it is or isn't. Even if we know in our minds that, well, this is just their interpretation, it still affects us. Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just assume that it is authoritative, that this capitalization is definite. They don't realize that it's opinion. And so also we talk about things like I said, Messianic symbols that are perceived to be in the text. For example, in Numbers, when Balaam gives the prophecy about the star rising out of Jacob, it says star. In traditional translations, of course, it capitalizes the S because it wants us to presume that it's a messianic prophecy and the implications about messianic stuff that are conventionally believed. So they capitalize this S, and therefore we're automatically assuming, if we believe in that sort of thing, if we have that kind of frame of mind, we're going to assume, oh, okay, messianic prophecy type thing. And that may or may not be the case. And this goes on, of course, throughout the rest of the Hebrew Bible as well. And it's something to be aware of because it does affect our thinking. Even if we know it, it still can affect our thinking because it predisposes us to think in the way that they had their opinion of. So something to consider, something to keep in mind as you study. So thanks for watching. Feel free to like this video and share it if you think that it might generate some new thoughts and new ideas and some discussion. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already so that we can stay in touch and so you will be informed as new videos are released. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Remember the commands. Peace.